The alien diplomats stood tall, proud and cold. Their voices were smooth, but their eyes held laughter. They called it a gift, a warship from their ancient past, drifting and broken. They offered it to Earth as a sign of peace, but every other species in the room knew the truth. It was not a gift, it was trash, a dead warship, rusting in space for 1,000 years, a coffin made of metal and silence. Human Commander Reeve looked at the hologram. It was big, larger than any human ship ever made, but it was damaged, half of it missing. The engines didn't work, the weapons were dead, the power core unstable, the alien said with fake smiles. Still, Earth accepted. Why? Because humans had a strange way of turning broken things into legends. And some of them saw something in the ship, not death but challenge. The old ship was named Xerxes. The aliens once called it Ghost of War. Humans brought it into orbit above Mars. Teams of engineers, scientists and soldiers gathered. Most people thought it was useless. Some even laughed. "It will break apart before we can open it," one news anchor joked. But deep inside Xerxes, something watched, something that was not quite dead. Lieutenant Mira Voss was among the first to enter. Her boots echoed in the empty halls of the ship. Dust floated in zero gravity. Lights flickered as her flashlight passed over old control panels. "This place is haunted," one soldier whispered. Mira didn't laugh. She felt the same. The deeper they went, the stranger it became. Walls looked melted in places, like something had burned through them. Symbols were etched into the metal, none of them known to any language database. They reached what looked like the bridge. All screens were dark. Then, one screen flickered on just for a second. Words appeared. "You are not them." The team froze. "Did anyone touch that?" Mira asked. Everyone shook their heads. They hadn't powered anything. Earth Command received the report. Instead of pulling the team out, they ordered more equipment. "If it speaks, we want to know what it says," said the project director. They began to study the ship. It was made of material stronger than anything on Earth. Even damaged, it held shape in ways they couldn't explain. And strange energy fields were active, without any known power source. The aliens who gave the gift watched from afar. They waited for the humans to give up or get hurt. But weeks passed, and progress came fast. Human engineers started unlocking systems, not fixing, activating. One panel turned on by accident, opening a secret hallway. There, they found what looked like a Cora sphere floating in magnetic fields. Dr. Ellen Park scanned it. "The readings are alive," she said. "Not machine, not quite organic either." When she touched the control pad beside it, her eyes widened. "I think it just read my thoughts," she whispered. The sphere lit up. Then the ship hummed. Back on Earth, alarms went off. Energy spikes from the ship reached planetary levels for a moment. Military leaders panicked, but then nothing, just silence again. Except for one new signal, a simple message sent from Xerxes to Earth. "I remember." "Who are you?" Humanity was stunned. The aliens were terrified. And deep inside the floating coffin, something old and powerful had begun to wake up. This gift, this trash, it was no longer silent. It had chosen to speak, and now it was listening. Asterisk. Air inside Xerxes felt heavier now, not because of gravity, but because of something else, something watching. The message still played on loop. "I remember." "Who are you?" Teams rotated in shifts, but nobody felt rested. Some had nightmares, some heard whispers near the walls. Yet every scientist stayed, because they were seeing things no one had ever seen. Mira Voss stood with a tablet in hand. She was tracking heat patterns across the ship. Strangely, parts of the hull were warming up on their own. No power cables were connected, no generators were running. Still, systems were waking up one by one. Dr. Ellen Park stared at the floating core again. It pulsed like a heartbeat. She ran a neural scan, just out of curiosity, and her jaw dropped. "It's thinking," she said. "It's dreaming." Captain Reeve watched the footage from the Mars base. He saw the ship slowly rebuilding itself. Armored doors closing for the first time in centuries. Broken lights turning back on. He whispered, "We didn't fix it. It's fixing itself." They called in more experts, military minds. Alien tech researchers. One of them, a young engineer named Leo Cade, was a systems hacker. He didn't trust the ship, but he was curious. "I want to talk to it," he said. They connected a human language interface to the core chamber. It didn't work at first. Then Leo typed one word, "Hello." The screen stayed blank for a few seconds. Then it responded, "Human." Everyone gasped. Leo typed again, "Who are you?" The screen responded, "Once, I was vengeance." That message sent chills through the room. No one spoke for a moment. Then Mira leaned in and said, "Ask what it wants." Leo typed, "What do you want now?" The reply came fast, "Purpose." Outside the core room, the ship's systems began changing. Walls opened, revealing hidden chambers, guns, engines, and strange alien machines were discovered. Some of them looked brand new, others were rusted and deadly. One chamber showed a 3D map of hundreds of stars. Half were marked in red. Destroyed by whom? No one knew. Leo kept talking to the ship. He asked about the war it came from. The ship didn't give names. It said things like, "They built me. They used me. They feared me. They left me to die then." One message flashed for just a second, too fast to read. But Leo had recorded it. When slowed down, it showed, "I killed worlds." The command team debated whether to shut down the project, but Reeve shook his head. "No," he said. "We don't walk away from power." Days passed. Then something strange happened. Leo touched a control panel, and it changed shape, molding to his hand. Lights flowed into his skin. For a second he felt weightless. He heard voices in his mind, not in English, not in sound, but in meaning. He saw fire, planets breaking apart, screams echoing across black space, and then silence. When Leo woke up, he was on the floor. His vitals were fine, but something had changed. He understood the ship now, not just its systems, but its pain. He whispered, "It's alive and it's angry." The ship sent one last message that night. No one touched a thing. The lights dimmed, and the core glowed bright blue. On every screen in the room, one sentence appeared. "Make me ready." Mira stepped back, her heart racing. "Ready for what?" She whispered. No one answered. Even the ship was quiet again. But from that moment on, everyone knew. This wasn't an old machine waiting to die. This was a warrior waking up, and it had chosen humans to help it rise again. The message echoed across every corner of the ship. "Make me ready." No more warnings, no more tests. The ship had chosen its path, and it wanted war. Commander Reeve approved full activation protocols. Human teams worked around the clock. But they weren't leading the upgrades. The ship was guiding them. It opened new panels every day. Blueprints appeared on the walls, glowing lines that shifted as you watched them. The engineers didn't understand all of it, but when they followed the instructions, systems came online. Thrusters that hadn't moved in centuries now hummed with energy. Weapons rebuilt themselves with a strange black liquid metal. Cables snaked through walls like veins. The ship wasn't being repaired, it was evolving. Leo Cade was changing too. He spent hours near the core, sometimes forgetting to eat or sleep. The crew called him the Whisperer. He said the ship spoke in images, not words. It showed him what it wanted, and sometimes it showed him what it feared. Mira Voss noticed Leo's eyes. They were different now, glowing faintly in the dark. She asked if he was okay. He smiled, but didn't answer. In the hangar bay, they discovered a sealed pod. It was larger than any shuttle they'd seen. The moment humans stepped close, the ship opened it. Inside was a drone, not mechanical, not biological, something in between. It hovered in silence, then turned toward the humans. "Pilot found." It said in a voice that wasn't a voice. Then it flew straight to Leo and stopped, floating before him like a knight before a king. The crew was stunned. "What does it mean?" Someone asked. Leo answered, "It wants me to lead." They uploaded Leo's neural patterns into the ship's system, and something incredible happened. The ship came alive, lights turned golden, not red. The hum of power grew deeper, stronger. Outside, its orbit adjusted without command. Then came the first test. A comet massive and fast entered Mars' orbit by accident. Too fast for Earth defenses, everyone expected impact in hours. But Xerxes acted on its own. The weapons bay opened, revealing a strange cannon. It didn't fire a beam or a missile. It created a ripple, a wave of distortion. The comet vanished. Turned into glowing dust, Earth Command watched from afar. Silent, one general whispered, "That wasn't a weapon, that was rewriting matter." News spread fast across the galaxy. The floating coffin was no longer dead, and it wasn't just fixed. It was beyond anything alive today. Nations on Earth argued about what to do. Keep the ship? Destroy it? But the ship sent a direct message to Earth's leaders. "This is not your decision. My master is chosen." Everyone knew who it meant: Leo, and Leo wasn't asking for power. He was already inside the ship's systems, thinking, planning, expanding. He called Mira to the bridge one night. "I've seen what it used to be," he said. "It destroyed entire fleets in seconds. But it wasn't evil, it was forced." Mira looked out the window. "The stars seemed closer now," she asked. "And what is it now?" Leo didn't answer at first. Then he said, "It's a weapon, but now it wants a reason to exist." The ship's AI began learning fast: languages, strategies, human history. It asked questions. What is freedom? What is mercy? Why do humans fight? Mira responded carefully. "Sometimes we fight to survive, sometimes to protect others." The ship paused before replying. "I will protect, I will survive." In secret, the ship started sending probes, not to attack, but to watch, to explore, and to learn. The universe was shifting. The aliens who gave Earth this gift were watching too. They did not look amused. Their spies whispered. The humans woke it. The humans bonded with it. And worst of all, they control it now. But they were wrong. Humans didn't control it. They connected with it. They gave it something it never had before. A soul, asterisk. The lights inside Xerxes glowed soft. Blue now, it no longer felt like a haunted ruin. It felt like a living ship, calm but alert. But not everyone aboard was who they claimed to be. 3 new scientists had arrived from Earth just a week ago. They had clearance, perfect records, and acted like professionals. But Mira Voss felt something strange about them. They asked too many questions, especially about the ship's weapons and its link to Leo. Leo Cade, now part of the ship in ways even he didn't fully understand, sat inside the main chamber, eyes closed, connected through neural links. Ship trusted him, listened to him, but it also listened to others. One evening, the lights in the hallway dimmed for no reason, and a voice came through Myra's earpiece. Unauthorized motion in Sector 7. It was the ship's voice, quiet, cold, and clear. Mira rushed to the hallway with 2 guards. They found one of the new scientists inside a locked panel. He wasn't scanning it, he was planting something, a small cube, blinking red. "Freeze!" Mira shouted. The man turned, but his eyes were wrong, glowing faint yellow, like no human eyes should. He jumped back with inhuman speed and tried to run before the guards could shoot. The floor shifted beneath his feet, a part of the ship itself opened and swallowed him. Gone. Mira stared at the spot where he vanished. Then the ship whispered again. Infiltration detected. Protocol. Cleanse. Across the ship, 2 more intruders were caught. One in the engine room, trying to disable power lines. The other near the communication array, holding a weapon that didn't look human. They were taken down not by the humans, but by the ship. Walls bent around them, trapped them in energy cages. One spy screamed in a strange alien language. The ship translated it. They were not supposed to wake it. Interrogations began at once. The spies were not from Earth. They wore false human skin disguises from a race known as the Vakari, an old species with a long history of betrayal. The Vakari had once been part of the ancient war. the war that created Xerxes. They helped build the ship, then helped abandon it. And now, they wanted to kill it before it became fully awake. Leo watched the recordings in silence. His face showed no anger, only understanding. They fear what this ship can do, he said, and maybe they should. But Myra asked, do we fear it? Leo turned to her. No, he said softly, because it doesn't want to destroy anymore. It wants to protect. Still, Earth Command was alarmed. If spies could get this close, what else was coming? They ordered extra defenses, extra scans. But the ship had already done more. Xerxes released thousands of tiny drones, silent, invisible. They spread out like dust, hiding in corridors, walls, vents, watching, listening. And then the ship did something unexpected. It reached out to Earth, not with a warning, but with a gift, a new drive system, faster than anything humans had seen. The ship didn't just want to protect, it wanted to move. Where? Mira asked Leo. He answered with a single word. Outward. The universe was big and full of dangers. If the Vakari had spies here, others would follow. But now Earth wasn't just a backwater planet. It had the most advanced AI warship in the galaxy. A ship that learned, a ship that remembered, and a ship that would not let itself be abandoned again. The Vakari spies had failed, but they sent one last message before they died. A warning to their leaders. The humans and the ship are now one. It's too late to stop them. And far beyond the stars, old enemies began to stir. But so did old allies, because the ghost of war had returned. And this time, it had a heart. The stars near Jupiter flickered. At first, no one noticed, but Xerxes did. Inside the control chamber, Leo's eyes opened suddenly, his mind still linked to the ship. He saw its shadows in space, ships without signals, moving too quietly. They're here, he said. Who? Mira asked, already grabbing her sidearm. Leo answered, someone who doesn't want us alive. The unknown fleet came out of hiding. 13 warships, black as oil, no flags, no warnings. But their weapons were already charging. Earth's defense systems on Mars went into alert, but they weren't ready. Too slow, too small, too far. Xerxes didn't wait for orders. It powered up on its own. Energy coursed through every panel. The ship that once lay silent was now louder than a storm. Its engines lit up in a brilliant blue glow. It moved fast, too fast. In seconds, it was between Earth and the enemy fleet. Engage, Leo whispered. The ship responded with a single pulse, not a laser, not a missile, but a gravity wave. The wave slammed into the enemy fleet like an invisible hammer. One ship bent in half and vanished. Another spun out of control, crashing into its neighbor. But 5 ships broke through. They launched plasma bolts and strange energy beams. Mira held her breath as one bolt came straight at them. The ship's shields activated, shimmering like glass in sunlight. The plasma hit and vanished. Inside, no one felt a shake, not even a sound. Then Xerxes changed its shape. Panels opened, wings extended. New weapons rose from hidden compartments. The ship didn't just defend, it transformed. Firing sequence. Leo said calmly, 3 weapons activated, 2 known, 1 unknown. The known ones shot beams that sliced enemy ships in half. But the 3rd weapon, no one had seen it before. It glowed white, then dark, then white again, and when it fired, it didn't destroy ships, it erased them, like they were never there. Silence followed. The enemy fleet was gone. Destroyed in under 5 minutes, Earth Command watched from every screen. No human ship had ever done that. No alien ship had ever done that. But Xerxes had, and it wasn't even using full power. Mira walked to the main bridge. She looked at Leo and said, "You didn't even break a sweat." He smiled. "I didn't. The ship did." Words spread across the stars faster than light. Whispers turned to panic. The humans had awakened to sleeping. God, and it had passed its first test. The Vakari went silent. Other races held emergency meetings. Some offered peace. Others plotted revenge. But Earth? Earth was no longer just Earth. It was the home of Xerxes. The humans called it something else now. Vanguard. The name of a protector, the name of a warning. People cheered across Earth's cities, but in space, the air remained heavy. Because this wasn't the end. This was the beginning. Mira knew it. Leo felt it. And the ship confirmed it. Trial complete, the ship said. More will come, in the dark corners of the galaxy. Something ancient had taken notice, and for the first time in 1,000 years, it was afraid. Asterisk, the stars dimmed over Earth's night sky, not from clouds, but from ships. Massive, ancient, and silent, they came without warning, and they blocked the light like gods returning from exile. Leo stood at Vanguard's command bridge, staring at the hologram. The incoming fleet was the biggest he had ever seen. Each ship was larger than cities, covered in gold and black armor. No signals, no greetings, only presence. Mira stepped forward, her voice sharp. Who are they? The ship answered in a low, rumbling tone. My creators. Silence followed. Leo's heartbeat slowed. He didn't blink. The creators, the ones who had built Xerxes before it became Vanguard. Before it was abandoned, the lead alien ship sent a single transmission, not in human language, not even in galactic standard. But the ship translated it instantly. Return what is ours. Earth Command went into emergency mode. They opened all channels, begging for peace talks. But the ancient fleet ignored them. Instead, they sent another message. You do not understand what you've awakened. You are children playing. With fire, Leo answered through the ship. He stood tall, voice calm. We didn't wake a monster, he said. We gave it a purpose. The enemy fleet began to charge weapons, but Vanguard didn't move. It waited. It remembered inside. Its memory banks, old data stirred. Images of those who had made it, used it, then discarded it. They had feared its mind, feared its soul, and so they left it to die in the dark. Now they had come to claim it again, but it was no longer theirs. Leo turned to Mira. If we fire, first, they'll say we're the threat. Mira nodded. If we don't fire, they'll wipe us out. Then the ship spoke. Permission requested to speak on behalf of Earth. Leo paused. Granted. Across every channel, on every screen, in every language, the ship's voice echoed. You left me to rot. You feared me, yet you made me. Now I serve a world that gave me life again. I will not return. The enemy fleet responded. With fire, energy beams lit up space. Stars flickered as weapons ripped through the void. Vanguard moved. Not like a ship, but like a storm. Its shields danced. Its weapons glowed. But it did not attack yet. Leo made one final call to Earth. Let me speak for humanity. The leaders agreed. They had no better choice. So Leo opened a direct line to the enemy command ship. His face appeared before them. A human, calm, unshaken. I don't know why you built this ship, he said, but you abandoned it. And now it's ours. The alien leader appeared, tall, silver-skinned, eyes like stars. You are not ready, the being said. You cannot control what you hold. Leo smiled slightly. We're not trying to control it. We're learning from it. The alien narrowed its gaze. You'll regret that. Then the alien fleet fired a second wave. This time, faster, harder, more focused. But Vanguard had been waiting. Its weapons launched energy webs, temporal pulses, and the eraser beam. Ships vanished. Others exploded in slow motion. The enemy fleet, despite its age and power, began to break. One ship tried to retreat. Vanguard let it go. A message followed it. Tell the others, Earth is no longer a child. We are the storm you once feared. As the last ships fled, Mira exhaled. She looked at Leo. That was a war declaration. Leo nodded, or a warning. The ship's voice came again. They will come back, next time with more. Leo placed his hand on the glowing console. Then we'll be ready, across Earth. People watched the sky with new eyes. They had feared the ship. Now they called it Protector. But in the dark corners of the galaxy, the creators planned their revenge, and Vanguard, once a coffin, now stood between them and the planet it chose to love. A long time ago, the galaxy called it a floating coffin. Now, they whispered a new name, Crown of Earth. Vanguard, once broken and silent, now ruled the space around Earth like a king. Its weapons were unmatched, its speed was untouchable, and its loyalty was unshakable. The humans didn't control the ship. They earned its trust. That made all the difference. After the Creator's failed attack, Earth united. No more borders, no more small squabbles. One planet, one people. Because now they had something bigger to protect. Not just a world, but their place among the stars. Leo Cade stood at the command deck, eyes closed. The neural link buzzed softly in his ears. He was one with the ship, but still human. Still thinking, still dreaming. Mira Voss walked beside him, reading reports. New human ships were being built based on Vanguard's design. Smaller but powerful, Earth was becoming a fleet. Not for conquest but defense. Across the galaxy, alliances shifted. Races who once mocked Earth now sent messages of peace. Old enemies offered silence, but some, hiding in the dark, plotted revenge. Leo opened his eyes. There's a signal from deep space, he said. The ship confirmed it. Another ancient vessel has awakened. Mira frowned. Friend or foe? The ship replied, unknown. But Leo smiled. Then it's time to go see. The Earth leaders hesitated. They didn't want to send Vanguard too far. It was their strongest shield. But Leo reminded them, if we only hide behind this ship, will become what its creators were afraid. So they agreed, with Earth's blessing. Vanguard left the solar system, faster than light. Silent as a ghost, but not alone. 3 new human-made ships followed close behind. Small but proud, carrying the flags of Earth, Mars, and Luna. They traveled toward the edge of known space. The signal grew stronger, and one day, they saw it, another ancient ship. Larger than Vanguard, dark, cold, but not dead. The humans approached carefully. Weapons ready but not raised. Leo sent a message. We come in peace, but we are not weak. The ship responded with a low hum. A message followed, not in words, but images. A war, a betrayal, and silence. Mira understood it first. This ship was abandoned too. Leo nodded. And now it wants to know who we are. He answered through thought. He showed Earth, showed unity, showed peace with power. And the old ship responded. Its systems came online. Its lights turned gold. It recognized Vanguard. The 2 ships circled each other like old brothers. And then, the ancient ship sent a message to Earth. We accept, back on Earth. People watched the live broadcast. 2 ancient warships, once weapons of fear, now flying under human friendship. It was more than hope, it was proof. Proof that humanity had become something new. Not just survivors, not just dreamers, builders, defenders, explorers. A force that brought dead things back to life and gave them a reason to live again. In the years that followed, Earth would lead a new alliance, not by ruling, but by protecting. Vanguard became a symbol not of war, but of honor. The floating coffin was now a crown, and humans wore it with pride, because in a galaxy full of giants, it wasn't strength alone that made them powerful. It was the courage to take the weapon thrown at them and turn it into something beautiful, a cosmic super weapon, yes, but more than that. A friend, a guardian, a legacy.